Now recently I booted up my NVIDIA Shield after admittedly not using it for quite a few months, and what I found was that gaming on the NVIDIA Shield has changed massively. Previously you could happily go into the NVIDIA Shield gaming app and click on any of the free-to-play games and you could be gaming in minutes. But this is all changed now. As you can see in my library I've got a collection of all these free-to-play games, and if I click on this one to play you'll see what happens. I basically get a black screen and nothing comes up, and this also happened to me on the most popular game, Fortnite. Now this probably happens because the games are hosted on a server, and if you're not paying for the service you're going to be at the bottom of the queue. Now even if you are lucky to get onto a queue and get a screen come up, you're going to be at the end of a queue, and this time I'm at number 31, but normally you're at 150 or something on peak times. And you're going to be waiting up to half an hour to play a game that was previously instantly accessible. But don't get me wrong, once you do get a game working on the Shield experience, nothing else compares to it on the NVIDIA Shield. So needless to say, I've gone elsewhere for my gaming needs on the NVIDIA Shield. And that elsewhere is just across on the menu bar, and it's the Google Play Store. And all these games I'm going to show you, you can easily download and play instantly without having to wait in a queue. And Google even makes it easier for you to find games. There's a featured games section. So all the games I'm going to show you all come from the Google Play Store, and they all come highly recommended from reviews. And just a quick note guys, with all the games mentioned here you're going to need a controller, and I use the PS4 controller. Now, if you do have any games that I don't mention here for the NVIDIA Shield, please do mention them in the comments below. If you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with the latest tech tutorials, reviews and unboxings, I do everything including Fire Stick, Raspberry Pi and Android TV tips and tricks, so subscribe and hit the notification button. Now if you like shooting up mutants with a machine gun, then this first game's for you. So in Xenowork, each level has a goal for you to tick off, and this ranges from picking up info from an unguarded computer or shooting down the stage's biggest mutant, and then heading to the exit down to the next zone, further into the Earth's crust. Now the game starts off pretty simply, but after each level the number of rooms to explore and the number of mutants patrolling them begins to increase. My next favourite game is Shadowgun Legends, and you play as part of a group of mercenaries who hunt down and kill aliens. It reminds me of Gears of War as it plays out in first person view. Now the graphics in this game blew me away, and the Shield TV is able to keep up with the graphics as the action gets faster on screen, with no lagging or stuttering on screen. After a brief tutorial you're able to complete a couple of quests. Now the missions keep coming, as initially you only have access to one planet, but as the game progresses you get access to more planets with more missions. Okay guys, moving on, my next game is Ashfall 8. And this is the airborne version with tons of unlockable cars, tracks with multiple routes and huge single player campaigns. This is a near perfect action packed game. And with this new version you can do tricks in the air, hence the name. And there's 9 different racing locations. There's also a few different race types, starting with a standard race, and there's other races like elimination, head-to-head and an infected game mode, where you infect other races with a deadly virus that makes their cars explode. And another cool feature is that you can play multiplayer and race against other races, either over the internet or on local Wi-Fi. And the next game is Dead Trigger 2, and this is your standard shoot 'em up with a zombie twist of course, and the action comes quick and fast. You get an auto fire button, meaning you don't have to manually press the fire button, making the gameplay a bit more enjoyable. Now in this game you get 16 missions split up into 2 separate campaigns set in the US and Africa. To summarise, it's a solid game with graphics to go. And next is one of my favourites, it's Skyforce Reloaded. This is a legendary shoot 'em up, and it combines the intensity of classic arcade games with modern visuals, giving us a great scrolling shooter experience. And you gotta admit, this game has got some stunning 3D graphics, and I found it very addictive and challenging, and it's ideal for both new and veteran players. Okay guys, so my next game is Dead Effect 2. Now this is a sci-fi horror first-person shooter set aboard a zombie spaceship, and you're an elite soldier who needs to try and seize control of the monster-infested ship. And the rest, as they say, is history. And the next game is Air Attack 2, and this game is visually stunning and beautiful. You fly your ship around the screen, which automatically fires at opponents, and you just need to avoid the enemy fire and position yourself to take out the enemies. And the cool thing is you can also drop bombs, which will take out the ground targets, and it's cool to see the buildings crumble under the bombs. There's also some pretty cool upgrades. You can get wingmen that follow your ship around for some extra firepower, and of course you can get some bigger guns. Overall a top game. Now if you do want to choose your own games, it's easy enough to do so. Just head on over to the Google Play Store on a web browser and put in the search bar Games, and then put in a filter for NVIDIA Shield TV, and you'll see a whole selection of games just for the NVIDIA Shield. Now do bear in mind that some of these games might not work as well on the cylindrical Shield TV as it's got less RAM. Nevertheless, this is a cool way to look for games, and it's convenient as you can look at the games through the preview video and decide whether you like them or not. And anyway, who doesn't like games that don't cost a penny? So guys, that's it from me for now. And do remember, if you found this video helpful, please do give it a like and do consider subscribing.